Mm-hmm. Right, perfect. So we've broken up on this. Perfect. Upside here. Upside as well. Pretty interesting because I was about to say we could flip on downside. Apparently not. So yeah. Unemployment claims. Let me just connect my stuff over here. Great. Okay. So yeah, we don't got events until 1:15, which is FOMC. Waller. That's probably chill. Okay. So if we wanted to count confluences, this I wouldn't count since we broke, but one for fucking sure that that then we broke over here. So that's an OB. That's a tap on OB. That's a fair value gap. FPS as well. On the 5. There we go. They can probably count all this as well. Let's chop. Right. So that's an OB as well. To be honest, break the structure down bearish. Upside made a new high over here. Made a new high, so break a structure at 920. Up. And then here, what? Lower. And the break of structure was at 920. So 920, VTL 950. Close. We had 9. Okay, this is probably the same exact confluences. Let's just leave it at that. Gotta be careful with this. Let's say if we yeah, so the Nasdaq seems half decent, but still over here we are bullish since we broke, of course, higher. That was bull. We do have OB, which is pretty decent clearly right there. If we also counted this, whatever chance, then yes. But probably this, okay, and if this, yeah, that's an OB. I can push it all the way over there. That's good. Yeah, break the structure. This, theoretically, at a break, we can trade with no problem. This one, though, if we close over here, then fair value gap and break a structure is invalidated, so you would only have OB. And if we close that, then I'll just see we don't have any confluences. So let's keep an eye on this. And this one is completely different. Interesting. How much are you moving right now? 7. Yeah, it's pretty. Okay. Everything here is invalid. We still 10 minutes. This is the low. Yes, so give me a second. Yep, I'll still count all of this. IB. What the fuck would I put IB in this? Yeah, so here at a break, basically at this side we can go in. This one, everything is invalid. Cannot touch it. But yeah, if I'm gonna trade this, I don't know how, because this over here is too far. There's no OBs. There's nothing. There's no sweeps over here. You could basically count a sweep on this side, but I don't know. I don't know. Sweep, and then you can what? Like count OB, like all the way to here if you wanted to, or you count to this. And if you did, then you would just have a little tap. Now let's see. Okay, 15 downside is just right there. Oh, you got 8 minutes. So let's see on our 1 minute if we're gonna close higher. This one seems like we are. Apparently not. Yeah, so yeah, price is a little slow, but it's okay. I think it's pretty obvious that we're bullish over here, but we're not. Let's see. Yeah, OB still valid, and the biggest structure is pretty chill. By the way, we do have equilibrium now as well. So yeah, we are full of confluences on this side. Basically meaning that if we do this, we can trade over here. Would you? I don't think so, but still, liquidity sweep. Why would I want to trade this? Well, now we have 2 minutes, probably like 7 minutes until I close on the 15. It's because that rejection, that fucking candle on the downside was pretty strong. So let's just wait for this 5 close first. Let's wait for this 5 close to see if the liquidity sweep is still valid or something, because only then we would basically have because only then we would have our liquidity sweep being valid. Okay, if it does not close, then we don't have sweep being valid. Shit. Okay. We also broke out of the chop, so all the way there. Let's see. Here we're gonna wait, and this is now chop range. Okay. So let's do that now. Yeah, it's because here there's no reason not to. Like, let's say, for example, 15 broke up prior to open. For me, that's bullish. We had this choppy condition, which made OB, OB tapped. Break a structure, valid. Equilibrium, valid. Chop, break out of the chop over here, valid. Fuck. Nothing you can do about it, bro. Let's see this 5. Fuck, it did close like that, so Mm-hmm. This one wasn't reacting. Yeah, so now at this point, we're just gonna wait for the 15. We're gonna erase every confluence. Let's just wait for this close. Fucking bummer than the other one, huh? Yeah, a real bummer. The ES, I would say, was. I'll tell you what, okay? While we do this, so break right there, we can agree on that, right? We'll say, okay, that's pretty bullish. Even if we counted this candle, because this didn't seem like chop at all. Even if we counted this big candle, can we say, oh, but everything else was on the inside? Okay, that's fine. We count this. We count the fuck right there. Okay, so we count this. No problem. Push here. Break. That's OB. Right there. Okay. From here, push here. That's an OB. We can agree on that. Okay. Yes. Bearish. Okay, so now we need a break of structure, right? To count something. Okay, form the new high right there. So this doesn't count. There's a new high. And then after this, we formed a new high right here. Break. That's another confluence. Okay. And then we formed equilibrium. And now we tapped. Basically meaning chop condition, right? Even if we counted all this as chop. The one thing that I can think about is this maybe, like this candle. I don't see why I would count it though. So yeah, I don't see why I would count it. Basically just this and this. I broke out of the chop from this range. And with the break of structure, we just go in. So go in, place stop loss lower than the, yeah, actually, yeah, lower than the middle around this area and still go stop. Bummer that the trade didn't work, but it was a decent trade, okay? Broke lower. One. Basically OB, that's tap, that's pretty decent. Broke out of all the chop, that's pretty decent as well. Perfect, okay. Now we have this. Broke. Okay. Let's see what we get, okay? Basically I will just go off of a reaction over here after this. Since we do have OB tap, right? OB tap and the break structure, like pretty sweep right here. Yeah, the break structure from OB. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Okay, then tap. Let's see, this candle is react. So let's see. I guess we could count that since it's a newly formed high. I guess you could go off of that, okay? Unless we do this, unless we break or push past, okay? So let's just keep an eye on that. Downside, pretty chill. Liquidity break structure, OB, tapped, perfect. So yeah, that's no problem. We're valid over here. And this, right? Which we can for sure count as very nice. We just don't want it to break this point right here. So we're good. Let's see. Fuck, I didn't even see this, bro. Oh my god, I'm sorry. I was fucking answering some messages. Where would my stop loss be? Oh shit. Okay, that was a push, but I don't know. We'll see. Okay, let's try to trail it because it seems like we pushed a lot over here. I don't know. Bummer about this play that it faked us out. Okay. Let's see though, okay? Mi jefe, hola. Escúchame, un toque. Ok, está yendo ahorita un pata, que, o sea, no sé, lo tiene guardado como web fotos, ok, que está yendo por un set, un front load, ok. Ok, él estaba yendo por un set, el LG a 648, así que, o sea, claro, la máquina es a 598, como están, ¿cierto? O sea, el precio normal, no le bajes precio. Ok, y él está yendo por una front load bonita, una máquina chévere hoy día, así que de la puta madre, ok. O sea, dice, I'll be there in a few. Ok, ha hablado contigo por mensaje, por si acá. Ok, un beso, chao. Chao. let's hope that we can make this high over here. We can basically move our stop. Bummer that I went in like a dumbass late, so I was answering some messages. Bummer, bummer, but hey, you know. What I'm not understanding is how different we're moving from this, from the both of these. Like if you check the five, yeah, we're moving pretty differently. I would say, pretty different. And 90 takes this way too much. So I wanna basically like at this entry, you could put your stop right there, but like you see, like the system is highest or low stop loss. Okay, so that's why you have to be careful. Bummer if we're on a choppy range, but if we're not, then pretty decent chance. Okay, and we can, if we make this low right, this high. I'm so sorry, but a lower high. Yeah, right. Is that a lower high? Yeah. Okay, so doesn't matter. Let's just call it a high. If we made a high right here, we can just go in on this, and it'll be no problem. And the fuck am I talking about? Moving the stop loss here. Okay, I'm confusing my words. And so yeah, it seems pretty strong. We can probably put it around this area. Okay, that'll be pretty nice. So we can start the trailing. And this, if we close lower than that, basically here, that's an OB. Shit. So basically, let's just have it right here. Okay. Um, let's basically let's move it here, okay? Because it's get that rejection. I don't like it that much. Around this area, if we did form an unfair value gap, we could be on top of the fair value gap. OB is there to protect us. If we do decide to push all the way here, then fuck, that'll be pretty tough. But hey, you know, no loss at this point, so it doesn't really matter, does it? Also, gotta remember, it doesn't matter what we do. If we break up, and that's it. Okay, we just are out of the play fully. Perfect. We can probably move our stop all the way over here. Or we can probably leave it right there. Leave the stop if we close this, and now we can, yep, pretty much trail. Okay, that's pretty good. Let's see the ES because he was, yeah. I'm saying, bro. Look at ES. It's just weird that how it's moving. ES seems to be chopping, bro. Confusing price over here, does it? Right? Yeah. So that times six. Yeah, that comparison is just insane, bro. By the way, we are gonna get out if this breaks. Okay, there's just no way around it. So if we decide to, like, if we decide now, if we decide to go higher than this price level, we're out. Meaning closing upwards of this level. Okay. No, probably this is right. Pretty decent trail. So let's see. Again, just by break of structures, okay? Nothing else. I'm gonna be muting because I need to do something. But I'm gonna keep 100% here. Break the structures, okay? I'm gonna be moving that black line. I'm moving this stop. Yep, we're not gonna risk this. Let's move it all the way here, okay? For valid gap right there is over targeting, okay? I don't know what the fuck we're going to. That's the thing. Oh, I know what we're going to. So that's a trade that we took that we lost, I think. Or did we play correctly? I don't remember. I think we lost in this play. Yeah, but OP. Okay, wanna just close strong downside. So now we're gonna for sure secure a few points with this. What I really wanna risk going it all the way there. Hmm. Maybe leaving 100 pointers on that desk, but we'll see. Yeah, we do that. We're not gonna do that, okay? We're not gonna wait. If this closes like this, we're not fucking waiting, okay? We're gonna push it lower and lower. Probably like here. Okay, half. Yeah, it's just too many points on the table at this point. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Nasdaq is just moving way better than ES lately. I feel something though. Was this a mistake? Maybe. But it would be for the books. So that was a pretty decent play. Enter around this level. Yeah. Now I'll show you something. Just pretty interesting though. We enter about this level, right? If you even place your stop like around this area, your 2R would have basically just been hit. That's why this doesn't work. So we forget about this bullshit. Never again. Okay? But we're done. So yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm. Alright, well, I'll see you guys later, okay?